Okay, I'm on a YouTube video like binge right now. So it's my third in a row. I changed my shirt so it didn't look like I was making all these videos, but it's the same night, right? And I have to be careful. I have to watch. I keep saying and like, so I'll try to not keep saying that. So this video is about how Advaita, and if you're watching the video, you know what Advaita is, right? Advaita is non-duality. Literally, I guess it means not two. So what Advaita says is that there is no separation. There is no separate self as apart from the world. Everything is really a unity. And what the common perception, which they say is a misperception, is that there's a separate self, an individual here, Dan, and Dan stands in contrast to the rest of the world, and everything is Dan or not Dan, Dan against this and that. Non-duality says, no, the self is an illusion. There is no self. Well, Advaita has it totally wrong, and the people who believe in a self, they're actually even closer to the truth, because it's not true that there's no self. In fact, there's a whole shitload of selves, right? Think about it. Haven't you had this internal dialogue before? You go to work, and you're in a pissy mood, so you say something rude to a coworker, right? You're mean to a coworker. Then you get home, and internally you say, oh, I'm so ashamed I acted like that at work, right? So now you've got two selves working. You got the self that was rude and pissy at work, and then you got the self that's critical of the self that was rude and pissy at work, right? Then later on, maybe you go back to work the next day and you apologize to the person. Then you're all proud of yourself. So now you got the self that is proud of the self, that was ashamed of the self, that was the pissy self, that was rude to the coworker, right? So now you got like 3 or 4 selves easily just in that one single day. And if you think about it, you have like a morning self, you got like an afternoon self, after I've had my first cup of coffee self, you have like a nighttime self, you've got a summer self, a winter self, there's all kinds of selves. The mind is doing nothing but spinning off all these selves, right? And that's why you can have these internal dialogues going back and forth, because there's a whole shitload of selves. Now they're all fake. They're all, because anything the mind makes is fake, right? And they have some use. In some ways they're practical. If you get too involved in all these separate selves, you become delusional, paranoid, schizophrenic or something. Go on like a murder spree. But otherwise, during the course of our normal day, we got all kinds of selves going on. How can you be proud of yourself for doing something? Which is the self that's, proud, and which is the self that's being proud of, which is which? And then you're ashamed of yourself for being proud of yourself because you should be more humble, right? So you got the ashamed self, and you got the proud self, and then you got the humble self. All, going all over the place at once. So I hate to tell you guys that are into this Advaita, non-duality stuff, you're wrong saying there's no self. There's a whole shitload of selves.